The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. Most people think money is about buying bigger things, faster cars, or achieving a certain status. But if you look deeper, past the glitter of luxury, the most valuable thing money can ever buy you is control over your time. In the 1950s, a psychologist named Angus Campbell at the University of Michigan set out to find what actually makes people happy. He didn't just study the ultra-wealthy, he looked at every slice of society. He found that the strongest predictor of happiness wasn't income, or the prestige of your neighborhood, or even your level of education. It was autonomy. Having a strong sense of control over one's life is a more dependable predictor of positive feelings than any of the objective conditions of life we usually think of. I am the observer. As I sketch these lines in charcoal, notice how easily we fall into the trap of the golden handcuffs. In my observations, I see two distinct lives. On one side, a man earns $500,000 a year. On paper, he is wealthy, but he hates his life. He is a slave to a schedule he didn't write, answering to a boss he doesn't respect, and paying for a lifestyle he's too busy to enjoy. On the other side, look at a woman who earns half that amount, but has the freedom to leave work at 3 o'clock to see her children, or work from a cafe in another country. She can choose her projects. She can choose her pace. Who is truly richer? Money's greatest intrinsic value is its ability to give you options. It acts as a shield against the unexpected, the freedom to leave a toxic work environment without fear, the power to wait for the right opportunity rather than taking the first thing that comes along out of desperation, the peace of mind to handle a family emergency without checking your bank balance in a panic. The tragedy of modern success is that we often trade our control for things we don't even need. If you use your wealth to buy a lifestyle that requires you to work 80 hours a week just to maintain it, you haven't bought a home. You've bought a new set of chains. True wealth is the gap between your ego and your income. It is the ability to say no so that you can say yes to the things that actually matter. Use your money to buy your time, because in the end, time is the only thing we can never buy back. When you see someone driving a Ferrari, you rarely think, wow, the guy driving that car is cool. Instead, you think, if I had that car, people would think I am cool. When Morgan Housel was a young man, he worked as a valet at a high-end hotel in Los Angeles. Every day he saw men pull up in Lamborghinis, Porsches, and custom Bentleys. These drivers thought they were radiating success. They thought the world was looking at them with envy and admiration. But Morgan realized something that changed his entire perspective on wealth. He wasn't looking at the drivers. He didn't care about their names, their jobs, or their lives. He was only looking at the car. He was imagining himself in the driver's seat. I am the observer. As I sketch this red sports car in charcoal, I want you to see the invisible wall between the driver and the spectator. This is the man in the car paradox. It is the iron law of wealth. No one is impressed with your possessions as much as you are. We tend to use wealth as a signal to others that we should be liked and admired. But in reality, those people often bypass admiring you and use your wealth only as a benchmark for their own desire to be liked and admired themselves. It is a loop of vanity where no one actually wins. If your goal is to gain respect and admiration, be careful. You might think $1 million watch or a 10,000 square foot house will buy you friends, but it won't. It will only attract people who want to see what they would look like with your watch or your house. Humility, kindness, and empathy will bring you more respect than horsepower ever could. The tragedy of the paradox is that many people spend their entire lives and all of their money trying to impress people they don't even like. They trade their freedom for a feeling of status that is completely invisible to everyone else. True wealth is the stuff you don't see. It's the cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, and the status games not played. Stop trying to be the man in the car. Start being the person who doesn't need the car to feel whole. The easiest way to lose money is to try to look like you have it. When most people say they want to be a millionaire, what they actually mean is, I want to spend $1 million. But spending $1 million is the literal opposite of being a millionaire. Imagine a man pulls up to a restaurant in a brand new $100,000 Porsche. You might assume he is wealthy, but the only thing you actually know about his wealth is that he has $100,000 less than he did before he bought the car, or he has $100,000 more debt. I am the observer. As I sketch this scene in charcoal, I want you to look at the negative space. In art, the empty space defines the subject. In finance, it's the same. Wealth is the cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, the watches not worn. We need to define two words that the world constantly confuses: rich and wealthy. Rich is current income. It's the shiny objects, the big houses, and the first-class tickets. It is visible. It is loud. Wealth is invisible. It is the money that hasn't been spent. It is the options you haven't taken yet. It is the flexibility to wait, the freedom to say no, and the security of knowing you are unwipeoutable. The world is full of people who look rich but are living on the edge of ruin, and the world is full of wealthy people who you would never notice in a crowd. Think of Ronald Reed, the janitor who died with $8 million. No one knew he was wealthy until he was gone, because wealth is what you don't see. We find rich role models everywhere because they are easy to see, but wealthy role models are hidden. This makes it incredibly hard to learn how to save. It's hard to learn from a hidden example. The only way to build wealth is the gap between your ego and your income. If you can learn to be happy with what you have without needing the world to applaud you for it, you have found the secret key to financial freedom. Stop trying to show the world how much money you have. Instead, show yourself how much freedom you can buy. Because real wealth is the ability to walk away from anything that doesn't serve your soul. I'm the Observer, and I'll see you in Chapter 10.